G'day everybody, it's Mike, hope you're well. Here we are, we've started the journey with the new ISF. It was possibly one of the cheapest in the country, and there are reasons for that. It was round figures, $42,000. It's done 145,000 kilometres, which is about 90,000 miles. But it does have some issues, none major, lots aesthetic. But there's the car, that's how I got it. All I've done is just give it a very light wax. There's no paint correction or anything done at this stage. That is coming. So it's pretty good. If you look closely, you may not see it on the video, but you will see in photos in a few seconds. Things like the wheels are pretty ordinary. The clear coat has lifted off. The clear coat has lifted off the calipers. But on the plus side, it has brand new calipers, brand new brake pads, brand new discs. So that's something. It's the MY10 model. It's got the Torsen limited slip. It hasn't got the nice headlights. It hasn't got the nicer BBS wheels. It's got the Takino suspension, not the Sachs suspension, the German suspension. But overall, it's not a bad old thing. It will come up, I think, looking really, really nice. There's no marks in the paint. It's absolutely quite good. Having said that, I mean, it does need a correction, but I can't see anywhere where it's had any panel repairs. The paint looks, as far as I can tell, and I've had a really close look at this one, where the last one was pretty obvious. This one, I think it's the factory paint, so that's a good thing. Here's the wheels. You can see where the clears come off. So I'm going to I'm going to keep these wheels, but I'm going to replace them with an aftermarket wheel which looks like the later model BBS wheel. These are BBS wheels, by the way, made for Toyota, but the later BBS wheels I think are quite nice in comparison to these, but we'll worry about that in the next month or two. But yeah, as you can see, the paint has come off the calipers, the paint's come off the brakes, so I think this thing has in its past never had the wheels and the brakes cleaned properly. I think it's just been caked in brake dust, and because that's what usually stuffs these, is the brake dust gets into the clear and it lifts off over time. And it is 11 years old. The right hand exhaust is crushed, as you can see, so they've reversed into a gutter or something like that. Everything else is pretty good. The paint on the antenna up on the roof is faded, so I'm going to have to get that redone. I asked to get it wrapped, and they said no because the paint's so bad. The belt molds, which is the chrome strip at the top of the doors, are all stuffed. All the rubbers come off. The rubber around the sunroof is all shrunk and cracked, but they're really cheap. I got those for $30 US. Easy to fit, so I'll be doing that. As you can see in this photo, it's got all the stickers on the door. That's for the airbag recall and other recalls that this car has had, so that's all up to date. The biggest downside of the interior, there's two things. The driver's seat, the right hand swab is saggy and squashed, and it's got sticky dash. So that's disappointing, but I knew that was going to happen before I bought it, so there's no real surprises. But it is a ISF and it goes really quite well. So there we go, 145,000 kilometres. It's, apart from the, I mean, they're only minor things. They're not like horrible, oh god, this is going to be a horrible situation. There's, it's just annoying. But the next car up was over 50 grand, and the next really nice one was $65,000, and that's 20 something grand more for basically the same car, and I can't see 20 grand difference, particularly considering I'm going to put another 8 grand into it after I buy it, so or maybe less than that, probably 5 grand, but it's still, I'm happy with this. It rides well, it drives really well, the engine is super quiet and smooth, no smoke, no noises, no nothing. There are some issues which I'm going to explain in a minute, but there's the engine. It's pretty clean, no oil leaks. It does have the valley plate leak, but that is being done under warranty. And it's not such a hideous price if I have to pay for it. It's only like $1,500, so that's not too scary. You know, if you want scary repair bills, look at some other European cars for the same sort of job. So there it is. So that's the F Sport. That's the ISF, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with the old thing. It's going to be a bit of a journey, but I'm hoping to take you along with me, and yeah, we'll just see how we go. So the next thing are the modifications. So the modifications, as you can see, headers. I actually ordered these in Australia because one, the price difference wasn't that much. It was only a couple of $100. Getting them from America, the freight and our dollar I don't think is that fantastic at the moment. So for the difference only being about $250 or $280 difference, I'm getting these from a company here in Australia, in Sydney, except the only problem is it's going to be 3 months before I get them. I'm not worried about that. It's going to be January, February, something like that. But we're getting headers. The next thing after the headers will be, oh no, the headers will be last. So the first thing will be I'm getting a tune from RR Racing, the intake elbow, and you can see the bottom right hand corner, it has the breather, so the breather bypass, so the crankcase breathes to the atmosphere instead of going back into the engine. Air oil separator, that will be, I think, because it's a high mileage engine, that probably won't be a bad idea. And I'm going one step cooler with the plugs, and this is really rare. This is actually Japan market only, a high performance drop-in air filter. It was only made in Japan for the domestic ISF market, but it is exactly the same as the IS 350 F Sport air filter. So it's a paper element, dry paper element, washable, all that sort of thing. So that's that part. Now the exhaust will be also updated and made into a true dual system. This is actually my old IS 350. I had this done because I just had a theory about the ISF exhaust, and I was proven correct. It actually is not the best way to go. But I ended up selling this car, and I could not actually, I didn't get any other power figures or anything like that, which sort of a shame, but yeah, that's how it goes. It was quick. It ran a 1334 at the drag strip with this exhaust, and that was in, like, I think it was about 1800 DA, density altitude, hot, humid, and this thing cracked. It went really well. Good mile per hour. It did over 104 miles, nearly 105 miles an hour in that heat, which tells me in winter it would have been a 1310 or 1315 over the quarter mile. However, this is what's happening with the ISF. This is 2 1/4 inch, and we'll be going 2.5 inch dual with a X-pipe, high-flow cats, GESI cats. They're fun to get hold of. I've got a pair coming. So the O2 sensors will be here, GESI cats, the headers are up in here. The next photo shows they remove the heat shield and put in these mufflers. They can actually go bigger. These are 2 1/4. So going 2 1/2, they'll probably be a little bit bigger in diameter, but there's a bit of room, so they should fit. And they did the full exhaust right out to the factory ISF mufflers. These mufflers aren't that bad. It's everything ahead of them which is a problem. I have not seen anyone post anywhere massive gains with removing the rear mufflers on an ISF, and if there are gains, it's like 5 horsepower, something like that. Not a lot, but here is where you make the horsepower, particularly here. That's where the horsepower is made, and torque under 5,000 RPM with this thing, you're looking about 3%. So that's where that will be. Now, we had the car done on the dyno, and as you can see, it made 302.5 horsepower. I guessed it was going to make about 315 on this dyno. Considering the engine was stock, the power loss, all that sort of thing. But what we ran into is, if you look at the next photo, we have the lambda, or air-fuel ratio, and not sure you can see my mouse, but it starts off up here, so full throttle in 4th gear. The timing, the run was done in 4th gear, and as you can see, it starts to go rich as normal, and it goes down to about 0.9, and it should have stayed in this range around the 0.88 to 0.9. But what it did, it dropped down to 0.88, which is still not too bad. So that's around about 12.9 to 1 air-fuel ratio. And then it dropped down to the 0.85. And you can see there's a dip in the power here, which matches that. So that tells me that the engine doesn't like being this rich. Then it leans up a little bit, picks up power because you follow the curve. I mean, ordinarily it should be a nice even curve, but where it changes is when it goes from here and it goes right down to it's about 795, which is around 11.68 to 1. So that is way too rich. And you can see where it dropped here, that the power, which was, it's hard to say, I'm guessing it was heading up to where I expected, around about the 315 horsepower. But as it went rich, it's pulled back here, and then it's gone even further down, and it's flattened out the curve here. So I'm wondering why it's rich. I don't know. There could be all sorts of things. I don't know a lot about the engine as far as its history at all. It could have old plugs. It could be the original plugs. It could have issues with the O2 sensors. It could have blocked cats. There's a whole lot of things which can contribute. But you can see there from, I I'm not sure what RPM that was, but it's probably around about 5. It makes a huge difference here, where I think it would have curved up to probably just under 320 horsepower, so probably around about the 310, 315, which is what I was guessing would be. But this bit here has pulled back horsepower here, and I don't know why. But anyway, that's it. So up next to the dyno runs, there's 3 dyno runs. The first one was 297 horsepower, and the second one, it was happier, making a little bit more power. It was very rich. You could see the smoke coming out like a diesel. But we can fix all that up. That's all good. So thank you for watching, and look forward to the next installment. On the 27th of this month, we will be doing a weather permitting. It's been raining here like mad. Weather permitting, we'll get a run down the quarter mile, and I'm going to do the car totally stock, so no tune, nothing. Just so I can get a baseline. Not sure what it'll run. I'm guessing 13.1, maybe down to a 12.9. But this is a problem that needs to be fixed. But we'll work on that, and that's fun of working on motor cars. Anyway, thanks for watching, and enjoy the videos.